My name is Angela Diffley. I'm the co-founder of the Restaurant Technology Network. And today I am so thrilled to be able to have a series called Where Are They Now? And the reason we're doing this, first time we've ever done it, is because we had our first ever startup alley at MURTEC in March of 2020. And the two folks I have here on the call today were the winners or runners up of the contest. And it was a pretty stiff competition with about 15 or 16, I believe, entrants, and really cool judging process. So we're catching up with them 2 years later to see where they are, what they've been doing, how their businesses are faring, how they've grown, and what kind of new connections they've possibly made, even with one another. So welcoming me to the panel are Christine Schindler, who's the co-founder and CEO of PathSpot. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
Christine and PathSpot were the winners of Startup Alley. So congratulations on that win 2 years ago.
And I still have the trophy in our office.
Okay, we should have brought it for show and tell. And then we have Ken O'Connell here, who is the Chief Innovation Officer for Voltonics. Hi, Ken. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
Great, doing well. So let's talk a little bit about just basically a really short elevator pitch about what your company does first, so for the folks here who didn't catch our Startup Alley, and then kind of what your role is in the company. Ken, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. So Voltonics does a lot of different things for a lot of different people. And in this circumstance, what we're talking about is artificial intelligence to optimize both reliability, uptime, and then take a look really closely at utilization for assets. So what we found is that there's a lot of information that passes through a power cord. And what we're able to do with that information is determine exactly what's happening with the machine at any given point in time. So if you can imagine, for example, a kitchen with an automation process, we're able to take a look at exactly where the bottlenecks are, where the highest utilization states are. We're able to really get valuable insights into what's happening with that kitchen, and then make predictions around when things are going to fail in the future. So really actionable intelligence that isn't really available in the market right now in any other circumstance.
Right. Okay. Well said. And Christine, PathSpot, as we know, has kind of been in the news a lot lately, and congratulations on all the publicity and fanfare around such a timely solution. So tell us a little bit about PathSpot and your role there.
I mean, since the last time we all met, we've talked a lot about hand washing as an industry and as a society. And PathSpot is a solution to help with proper and effective hand hygiene and sanitation technologies across the businesses that we work with. So our tool mounts on the wall next to hand washing sinks, and we work with restaurants, packaging facilities, farms, anywhere where food is handled, stored, and served, where hand hygiene is so critical. And right after anyone washes their hands, they put them underneath the device, flip them over, and it instantly pops up and lets them know if they have invisible contamination that could make someone sick, all in less than 2 seconds. And then we take all the data from those scans and we give it to management teams so that we're able to track and reward and incentivize proper hand washing and hygiene techniques across an establishment. You know, offering hand hygiene master of the week or hand washing award location of the month. These types of things help us to create that enthusiasm around hygiene and build that culture of cleanliness with everyone we work with.
That is really cool. And so since March of 2020, when you got on that stage and accepted that award after you guys had that grueling pitch match off on stage, it was like a Shark Tank, crazy episode. But so since then, tell us how far you've come and like what has been fueling you, or if you could just explain some, maybe the types of restaurants that are using PathSpot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as soon as we finished that pitch competition, there was so much enthusiasm around hygiene and hand washing. And I think, brands were already aware of the solution and had known that there was an importance around hand washing, but there just became so much urgency around how we communicated hygiene to customers and employees. And that enthusiasm really was momentous for our business because it allowed us to take a solution we already had in place that was already supporting so many restaurant brands, and we 10x the size of our company. We were able to grow both our team from a leadership standpoint, and also from the groups that we were able to work with. And we expanded office spaces, recently opening up new space to be able to fit our growing team and continue to support the customers we're working with. So it's just been really rewarding throughout this whole process to see how this type of hand washing and hygiene program can make the users who are working with it feel so much safer in their day-to-day environment, as all of us are looking for ways to ensure that we feel safe, and not just for COVID, but disease infection and the transmission of illness as a whole. And it's been really rewarding to be able to work on something like hand hygiene during this time when we can double down on that prevention of disease.
Well, it's exciting to hear about the company's growth, and congratulations on that trajectory, and may it continue. And Ken, how about you? Since 2 years ago, exactly what's Voltonics been up to?
Yeah, sure. So it's interesting. You know, Christine and I think, and I were really well positioned coming out of MURTEC, just in completely different verticals, right? So we work primarily in the clinical diagnostic space and the pharmaceutical space. The Restaurant Technology Network, I think, was a great opportunity for us to introduce the technology to a potentially new market. I believe as automation increases, especially in the quick serve markets, optimizing machine use and understanding predictive maintenance, I think these things are going to be really, really important. But you know, our services were really important during the COVID epidemic, just because we were attached to thousands of machines that were processing COVID tests on a daily basis. So just a specific example, we were able to identify a 30% throughput issue in one of the largest labs in the country. So we were able to help them increase their throughput of these COVID tests by 30% just as a result of this passive monitoring that we do. Those types of things. In addition, there's other influences in labs, for example, CO2. So we track CO2 as one of the metrics that we analyze. And in doing that, we're able to help them distance some storage of dry ice that was close to the line as well, that could have been potentially affecting results. So it's these types of insights that we were able to apply to, you know, an industry that was really struggling to keep up. And, you know, I believe that we were able to help them out pretty significantly.
That's amazing that both of these things, technology driven, health focused, and then also relatable to restaurants, right? Because of the timing of all of this. And it's my understanding that you all have even formed kind of a semi-quasi, I don't know if it's formal or not, partnership, or at least working together. Is that correct? Christine,
Yeah.
what does it look like?
I mean, we met at Startup Alley. So it's really incredible that as we were going through growth and recognized that we wanted to be able to support more partners as effectively as possible. And we talked about, you know, who could offer us a solution to help us with that mass scale that we were going through really quickly. You know, it jumped immediately into my mind, the relationship that we had built at Startup Alley. And I was able to really quickly pull up the phone and say, hey, do you want to partner? Can we work together on this? You know, how can we come up with this? And now, you know, we have full teams on both of our teams working together every day on these different initiatives. So it's been really exciting to see how those types of connections at Startup Alley have not only been, you know, meeting and working with so many in the industry, but turned into formal partnerships.
That is amazing. That's really a testament to the connections you can make at Startup Alley and just at MURTEC in general. I mean, I remember the judges coming in with their scorecards after they saw all of your demos, and they were just blown away. It was like, how are we going to choose? I mean, so many great solutions, but you guys definitely rose to the top, and that's very exciting. And certainly their inclination was right on target, because look at how far you both have come in 2 years, 2 short years. It's crazy. So what's planned for the future? I mean, especially geared toward restaurants. Now, Ken, I know that you guys are focusing on the pharmaceutical space, but when you think about restaurants and both of your technologies, what do you see happening? Any predictions or any trends that you'd like to see following in relation to your tech?
Yeah, sure. So,
Ken, let's start with you. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, cool. So one of the things, so we have a number of different companies. Customized, KusiTech is one of those brands, and KusiTech actually recently installed the first robotic French fry flipping machine. So what we're noticing is that, especially with the upward pressures on wages, that automation is going to become more prominent. So I think that as that happens, Voltonics is definitely going to have a role to play in exactly what we do: equipment optimization, failure identification. These robotic arms, for example, they're very maintenance heavy. So being able to predict a failure could dramatically save downtime for some of these really fast-paced restaurants.
Are you working with Miso Robotics?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Miso Robotics.
Yeah,
I remember, I spoke with White Castle back when they started that pilot, and we're talking about the hopper and how critical it is to sort of automate those mundane tasks, right? I mean, certainly not about taking away the personal factor of hospitality. It's more about automating the mundane. I mean, to me,
absolutely.
That's the key, right? And then keeping a watch on that automation to make sure it's running properly.
And it allows people to focus more on the customer, right? So instead of being in the back flipping the burger or doing the French fries, it allows people to actually interact with customers and really focus on that customer service rather than, like you said, the mundane tasks. So we're really excited to see that. Clinical diagnostics, if we were having this conversation 20 years ago, was all done by hand as well. And these are the types of things that maybe takes a little bit more time in the restaurant space, but it's definitely something that's going to happen, and we're excited to be part of it.
I think once we see the savings and the sort of real tangible ROI from the robotics, that's when it's going to step on the gas in the industry. And Christine, What about you? What kinds of trends are you looking at just in the restaurant space, or what are you looking? I mean, we know what you solve for, but what are you looking at and interested in right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're really doubling down on employee safety and customer safety, and working with restaurants to be able to accomplish that is a core portion of where we're spending our time and initiatives right now. And our intentionality in that is to help everyone feel safe in their day-to-day, and to be able to create even more recognition for the work that goes into keeping an environment safe and healthy for both employees and customers. So, continuing to scale our current solution to support hand hygiene, which is such a integral piece of that. I mean, every single employee is involved in keeping up hand hygiene, which is such a remarkable tool to be able to work with in these different groups. And then in addition, where are the other ways that we can partner and continue to provide value in that hygiene, safety, and sanitation space?
Yeah, I also see it as a customer asset, right? Like, I would love to be able to scan my hands before I sit down for my meal,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see people all the time posting on social media or writing in reviews and saying, hey, I heard that they're using this tool and it makes me feel safer coming to eat here. Thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, here we are, fast forwarded 2 years later, and we're about to embark upon another MURTEC, and March 2020, I'm sorry, I can't even get my dates right now. 2022, that's so many twos. So March 2022 in Las Vegas, we'll be back there. So we hope to see you both there again. And listen, congratulations on all the success. And thank you for joining me and just catching up with me after 2 years, just to see kind of where you are. And I just wish you much continued success. We'll be following along and watching, and please reach out to us frequently and keep us updated.
Absolutely. So grateful to be a part of the network and to be able to have these conversations. Excited to see you at the next MURTEC.
Me too, Christine. And you too, Ken. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.